Would you like to know how to establish workflow with your software development partner and make it maximum effective? I will share my thoughts with you today. Software development includes a chain of activities. Besides coding, testing, and deployment, it also comprises the process of sales and continuous development of the product that's already on the market. When it comes to effective approaches to software development, we usually apply dedicated team and fixed price, which are both applicable to different spheres of business. Let us omit revenue-related issues and the vendor's point of view, and proceed to high-level specifics and nuances, taking a broader look at corresponding processes. But why do we consider only these two approaches? How should a product owner pick the right type of contract for their software project? We believe you should start with these three things. Define the main principles of collaboration, identify risks, and share and document responsibilities. Basic approaches to software development can be expressed through documents that regulate relationships between the client, the product owner, and the vendor, the software development company. These are contract, project charter, specification, etc. Every company forms its own set of documents where the main principles of collaboration are described in detail for each approach. It's done through basic specifics of an approach, which are customized for unique conditions, workflows, policies, and processes of a particular business. Brief overview of main contract types applied in our company. Fixed price. Product is the object of relations. Scope, budget, and time constraints are fixed. Risks are handled by the vendor. Time and materials. Scope, tasks are the object of relations. Payments compensate exclusively effort spent by the vendor. Risks are handled by the client. Dedicated team. Team, regular delivery are the objects of relations. There is a fixed weekly or monthly budget. Risks are distributed between the vendor and the client. Practically, the best way would be to discuss two drastically different approaches: fixed price and dedicated team. So, how should you choose the right contract type according to your needs? The task of any manager from the vendor's side is to present a service that would fully satisfy your needs. What's more, you need change and evolve over time. The vendor constantly analyzes them over the entire course of your collaboration, quickly reacts, and modifies the provided service accordingly. From the very beginning, there must be close communication and discussion that should leave no blanks and answer all questions. The right choice goes along with mutual understanding of the main principles: valid expectations, quality of results, and eventual development of relationships between you and your vendor. There are three fundamental questions that you should answer and discuss with your vendor to make a well-considered, optimal decision. How well are your product requirements documented? Fixed-price contracts presuppose solid understanding of requirements. The case when the project scope is documented in a specification, UI/UX design, and acceptance criteria. However, if you are still working out your requirements, if you have no clear vision of the product yet, and if there is not enough information about the scope, it cannot be fixed. Therefore, it's a good prerequisite for work with a dedicated team. In this case, your requirements can evolve continuously along with your business, and the development process is change-friendly and highly responsive. Your time to market is minimized. How important is it for you to manage processes and risks? Fixed-price contract puts all risk on the shoulders of your vendor. You are guaranteed that the final cost will not exceed the amount indicated in the contract. Your involvement in the process is very deep, before the start of development, at the stages of discussions, and elaboration of requirements. After the start of development, your involvement is minimal until the product is delivered. With dedicated team, your involvement is deep over the entire project. You pay for spent hours with a minimal accepted workload, but you bear the risk that the final cost might exceed your expectations. It happens mainly due to changes that you introduce to product requirements over the course of development, with cost of change growing at each subsequent stage of development. On the other hand, it gives flexibility, which is vital for many businesses, especially mobile startups that build their product while still identifying target audience and their needs. This leads us to the third question. Is flexibility important for your project? Our experience shows that changes in requirements are almost inevitable. Dedicated team contract provides high flexibility for quick handling of these changes, and you can easily direct the effort that you pay for. Fixed price contract supposes re-estimations of said fixed price in case of change requests, and it takes additional time. Choose the contract type wisely, knowing how the strengths and weaknesses of each relate to your project. After the manager receives your answers and comments on these questions, your vendor will be able to offer an approach to development. It will meet your business needs and satisfy your expectations in terms of process and result. The main principles of collaboration are fixed in the following documents: project vision, project goals, business goals, description of services provided by the vendor, time frame and milestones, team members and responsibilities, budget and payment conditions, work schedule, overtimes, vacations and medical leaves, work processes, standards and tools, delivery conditions, acceptance criteria, assumptions and constraints, risks and mitigation plan. Description of services provided by the vendor actually defines the object of agreement, which in turn defines further relationships. Dedicated team, team plus regular delivery, large and mid-sized projects, evolving requirements, flexible development, maximum involvement of the client. Fixed price, one-off product delivery, small projects, well-elaborated fixed requirements, fixed budget and timeline, minimum involvement of the client. Let's take a look at several key points of these approaches. The fixed price approach focuses on delivery of a product, which comprises a set of requirements that are worked out in detail and fixed after the final approval of the client. This set includes technology stack, functional and non-functional requirements, and acceptance criteria. Team members with proper expertise and skills are selected by the vendor. Planning of timelines and budgets is conducted before development. The vendor guarantees evidence. The project is guided by a project manager, who is responsible for the delivery of the product according to the approved documentation. The client communicates directly with the project manager, but usually does not communicate with the team members who are focused on the development and delivery within the approved timeline. After the start of development, the main involvement of the client concerns change request management, in case of need. There is a dedicated team that delivers the product on a regular basis. It is formed according to the required technology expertise and skills, depth of experience, availability, proactivity, communication skills, and readiness to communicate directly with the client. If the client represents an enterprise, it's crucial to quickly integrate with the existing company structure, release cycles, development processes, and tools. In case the client needs to extend their existing core team with new experts, it can be easily done. Only high-level requirements and main development directions are clarified. There is a weekly or monthly budget which is formed according to the quantity and ranking of the team members. There are clear and documented responsibilities distributed within the team. All team members share the goal that corresponds with the client's needs, deliver the product with certain defined frequency, capacity, and velocity. The team is guided by the project manager, but as opposed to the fixed price approach, the client can directly communicate with other team members and participate in management of the main aspects. Scope: prioritization of features, sprint planning, sprint review. Timelines and budget: sprint planning, launch planning, involvement of additional developers for parallel work, withdrawing team members. Actually, the client may manage any aspect of development, but the vendor still focuses on development and expertise. The vendor overtakes any risks related to human resources. Provision of substitution for team members in cases of vacations or resignation. Quite often, the vendor has to take care of extra services that can be requested by the client in cases of emergency. Overtime, additional scope of work. The client overtakes the workload-related risks. The vendor is interested in provision of effective workload for employees, so a minimum paid workload is set for each team member. Full-time for developers, part-time for other roles. The client's value focus always develops from the launch of an MVP to regular product delivery and satisfaction of market expectations. What's more, large and mid-sized software development companies provide added value to the product. And that is how vendors become partners that continuously participate in evolution of software products. Any good vendor should provide advanced technology expertise, effective communication, established processes and flexibility, allowing you to concentrate on your business. Therefore, you should choose a vendor that will identify your needs and offer an approach that will help you achieve your business goals. Thank you for your attention. Stay tuned with MobiDev.